All right. So there is a document in your classroom called Remote Group Project. It is in the homework for week 9 and 10. It's called Group Project. There's Google Docs for it. You guys should be able to see it and maybe add comments to it, but you shouldn't be able to edit it.
It's called what?
Remote Group Project, and it's inside the homework for week 9 and 10. So what this project is on like at the top level is you're going to make 2 web pages. You're going to make one web page that lets people put in, I think, their phone number and name. Yes, their name and their phone number. And then it goes to your database and gets stored there. Then your second page is an admin page. There's no like admin login, no validation, stuff like that. And it just shows everything from the database in a nice way. So top level, that's what I want you guys to do. A little bit more nitty gritty. Again, it's in quotes because I don't want you to make a login service. Cool. All right. So you guys are gonna just be one group because I think breaking you up too much. So we're just gonna do the one group. There's gonna be a project manager, 3 front-end devs, 3 back-end devs, and 2 QAs. These are not set in stone roles. These are a way to divide up labor. Everyone's expected to push code. And like, if I hear somebody be like, that's not my job, that's not how we operate.
No, we're a team.
Yeah, we're a team. And like the thing is like, you know, when you're like doing real work, your client doesn't need to know any of the pity, Miranda said she was gonna, it doesn't matter. Your client doesn't care, like clearly expressing issues, totally fine. Being like, hey, we had some issues with our QA work because of, other stuff going on. So we're a little bit behind. Totally reasonable. I just don't want to hear pettiness. Like you got real issues and we need to talk about it. Then yeah, totally. Can do. You just being petty, can't do it. Can't relate.
Yeah, and if you have a problem with somebody, just talk to them. Don't go behind their back, talking, gossiping and stuff.
And also, like, please don't assume ill intent. That's what, with one of the last projects that I helped manage, like, a couple people just, like, assumed everybody was, like, deliberately being mean to them.
Yeah.
And when you come at it like that, you're going to feel bad about it, like, if somebody, like, says, hey, you didn't do this right, don't be like, why are you attacking me?
Yeah.
It's probably just them trying to help, so don't take it too much. Before I get a little bit more deep, I do want to talk about how this does your grade, just so y'all know what is up. So again, there's 150 points for this whole class. This is going to count for 20 points for your class. So what that means is, like, if you're on the cusp, this might push you one way or the other, and I grade all of you guys together. You will get a grade for this whole thing together. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, programming is hard, and like, reading other people's stuff, like, it's just kind of how it is. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. So you're going to get graded on completeness, style, and teamwork. How do we find out where we are in points? Send me a Slack, and we'll do it when we do your code review. Most of y'all I'm not worried about, though. I've had a conversation with y'all if I am worried about you not getting enough points to pass. And then remember, at the very end of this class, the class is either just satisfactory or unsatisfactory. And if you do complete this class with an unsatisfactory, there is a capstone opportunity. So, like, Are we doing a virtual graduation? Yes. On September 18th at noon, we will do a virtual graduation. So I'll talk. The TAs probably are going to talk. There's a what? Virtual graduation. And we'll do it September 18th at 12. And it's just nice. You will get contacted by Grace. Yeah, invite friends, invite family, like definitely, just like a real graduation. We also do invite all of our tech partners. So typically, like the HR people from RSI come, a lot of tax layer partners come, some people from Parsons come. So, show up. Grace will probably reach out to you that week or the week before to get your address so we can physically mail you your physical certificate. If your name gets spelled wrong, because I have not had a single class where everything was spelled correctly, let me know and let Lisa Palmer know and we'll get it fixed. And like it just tends to be like she's not paying attention and so she'll put like two N's in a word. So if you're and with one N, she'll put two. So if she spells your name wrong, let me know so we can get it fixed. So this is 20 points out of a 150 point class. So it's a big chunk and you guys will all get graded together. So I want you to take it seriously because it does impact your grade pretty significantly. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yours is probably going to be wrong. I'm not going to front. There are a couple of y'all that I'm like, but to be fair, she also just typically makes letter mistakes. Yeah, you might be one of the one that I'm worried about her spelling wrong. So what I'm assuming is she'll put like two E's in your name instead. It doesn't tend to be like wild misspellings. It just tends to be like, so like Andrew's last name, she might just put one T. Or we might get the Christines mixed up. Listen, I get my stuff misspelled.
Morgan Smith? No.
So,
like O's in yours?
Yeah. Well, I get H's. Because I guess the very traditional spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get a lot of like this is the like traditional way to spell my name.
Yeah.
That's not how I spell my name. And get lots of Megan, which is like my personal pet peeve. Like I don't care when people call me the wrong name. Like I'll answer to Lauren, I'll answer to like my last name. I don't care. But when people call me Megan, I'm just like,
it's such a common name in the South though.
Mm-hmm.
I know like at least 3 Megans.
Yeah.
It's such a common name.
Christina 1 and Christina 2. I love that. So I just call them both Chris. All right. So this is a pretty big part of your grade, but like no stress because like most like all your other homework, if it works, you're gonna pass. If it's ugly, if like there's a little bit of finagling, you're gonna be all right. And you guys are gonna get points for documentation, for CSS stuff and like all of that. So these are the requirements for what I want you to have. This should have a GitHub repo. This GitHub repo should be managed by your project manager. One more other thing about roles. I am your client. So after this technical briefing, I will not be answering technical questions for your group project. If you have technical questions about your homework,
Hardcore.
Yeah, I'll be there. But if you have technical questions about this project, Hardcore is your like tech lead. He is your fix-it kind of person.
Yes, please ask me questions if you have questions along the way.
Because he's done this project like 3 times now. So he's seen all the iterations. He knows exactly what I'm expecting, and he has a bunch of shortcut ways to really get you going to where you need. We're going to learn about how to use Heroku today. I'm going to walk through the demo with y'all so you can see it. We're just going to use the free one. For part of it, it might ask you to put a credit card in, but it will not charge you. It just wants to verify that you're a person. Hardcore is not in school. He has graduated now. He has done a reno. It's very exciting. Yeah, getting done with college was such a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be on the other end of school.
All right. So we'll talk about the Heroku piece in detail today, but basically you're just gonna like it'll generate a Heroku website and it'll be yeah, he was until like last week. um It'll be something like fluffyclouds.heroku.com or like something like that. And I need that URL to grade your final project. It should have 2 HTML pages, an admin page and a user page. You can design these however you want as long as they're usable. There should be JavaScript to run the server so you can have your database so you can work with your database. Highly recommend using Express, but this project is doable without using a backend framework. I don't see a reason not to. Express is easier to use, it's better documented. I don't see a reason not to use Express, but it's your project. JavaScript to run the validation on the front end. We'll talk about that. I'll show you guys this database piece too. All it is so like, you know how MySQL hosts a database instance on your local machine? JAWS will host it on Heroku. So that way your server can see it.
Bless you.
Ah, thank you. Can you present the group project thing? Yes, I can. Give me just a second to pull it up on this computer. I'm still split on screens, and so I have it open on my other computer. Yep. Okay. All right, let me do this. I only have one screen on this for right now. So let me do this. You wave it at yourself. You're so funny. Okay, real fast, I want to pull up the chat so I can see y'all. So give me just a second. Please bear with me if there's any echo. I'm going to plug in the other monitor in a sec, probably this afternoon. I just hadn't had a chance yet.
So this isn't our syllabus, right?
Yes, so this is not your syllabus. This is, you guys can see 2 of me now. Just so I can read your chat. Me from multiple angles, so exciting. This is not in your syllabus. Let me show you how to get to it. I just want to be able to see the chat. That's why I joined again. All right, so if you go to the classrooms, and then here, it's right here. This is what document I'm looking at.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so I've talked about this part. I will assign your roles after we go through all of this project. If, again, you guys want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But, like, I did really think a long time about who I think would be best for each one. Me picking these certain roles does not mean I'm like, oh, I think this person sucks, they should do this. It's, I think this is the role where they will, like, shine the most. Okay, so we'll talk about this database piece in just a second. Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like I muted, and so I was very confused. Okay. Then I want you guys, optionally, for extra credit, use CSS to make it look nice. If it looks nice but does not work, I will be real unhappy. So put the work in, make it function, then make it look nice. I want to talk a little bit about this section because this is something we haven't talked about too much. So I want to talk about documentation. So I talked a little bit about Yeah, okay, I'm glad it's not just me. I don't know why it says I'm muted, but I'm not. I got nothing for y'all. I think it's because I'm logged in on the same account. It's probably not geared for me to be logged in on multiple devices on the same account. It's probably not happy with that. But y'all can hear me. So we talked a little bit about documentation last week when we talked about like technical roles and that kind of stuff. But I want to do a little bit more a deep dive into documentation and what I expect for your group project. I think, so this is all from Berkeley, UC Berkeley's computer science program. I think it's a really good guide, and I think it explains a lot of like these pieces for us. So this first section, why? So we write documentation for ourselves. So for when we have to maintain code later, when you are hosting, you know that open source, you want to get credit for your code, and writing comments are a way to do that. The self-determination one is like you come up with a plan and you complete that plan to your specifications. If you write open source software with good documentation, it's much more approachable for other people to help you with your stuff. We write documentation for other people so that way they can use our code and build on it, and vice versa. We expect other people to write good documentation so we can use their code. That's how Node, MySQL, Express, that's how all of these pieces work. And then, for science, if you write something that helps solve problems, we want it to be well documented so other people can use this tool to solve problems. So like, again, this is specifically UC Berkeley, and so they're talking about like scientific advancement, but like if you write something to solve a problem, share that problem solving with other people. Okay, any questions about why?
Nope.
I think you guys have started to notice like the difference between good documentation and bad documentation already. Like you've gotten to experience like, some documentation you're like, I don't know. I don't know how to read this. I don't know what's up. And then, other pieces of documentation you're like, yeah, these are clear instructions and I know what I'm doing. So these are some best practices that I expect you guys to follow for your group project. So a README file that has a brief description, installation instructions, and a short example. This can be a screenshot, this can be whatever. So like you write out, this project does this. If you want to build this code, you need to run npm install. And then like if it's complicated software, writing a tutorial about how to use the software is really useful. Issue tracking built in with GitHub, which is really nice. You can use that if you want to, especially if QA people writing those can be really helpful. API documentation. If you are building an API, you need to write this kind of documentation. I like what a function do. What a function do? What it do? All right. If you're using any APIs besides the JavaScript APIs, like you might want to write that you're using them. This project doesn't require you to use any APIs besides the default JavaScript ones, but you could totally use something like Faker or another tool if you guys feel so inclined to be extra. Document your code. This means using variables that make sense, writing comments inside your code, writing descriptions about what your functions do, what kind of parameters are, all that, naming functions reasonable names, like don't name your function like key smash. So make things be named reasonably, all that. Coding conventions such as file organizations, comments, naming, programming practices, all that. So I highly recommend using the Airbnb's JavaScript style guide. I think they do exactly it, right? Good documentation. Airbnb's JavaScript style guide is a very wonderful source. And the other reason that we do things like this is when you are working with other people, if you are not writing code in the same way, you have to you have to learn how to read the other code style before you can learn what the code's actually doing. So it takes a lot of time to write and review code if they're not following the same standards, which is why it takes me like 7,000 years to grade your stuff, because I have like 10 different code standards going. And that's okay, because y'all are learning. But for y'all's project, you want to all stick to the same convention, so that way everybody knows what's up. So name variables reasonably, name your functions, all that. Information for contributors. Put your name and your GitHub stuff on the README. Get credit for it. Licensing information, you guys can just leave it. Doesn't super matter. You can do like an MIT license is fine, or a general public license. Either one is fine. You don't need to put your email addresses if you don't want to, but you can. File, if you do versions, which I don't think you guys will do because it's only 2 weeks, but if you do versions, then you put versioning information in your documentation too. So for this project, the documentation is the responsibility of your QAs, because your QAs should know how all of this stuff works. And that's typically how it works, is your QAs write your definition, and then they test it to make sure that you have actually followed that definition. I think you can just like cut this part, and it should be like everything should be descriptive and consistent. That's just how it would be. This is weird. I can see the lag because I have it open on multiple screens. Okay. Any questions about this piece and what I expect for your project?
Nope.
Cool. These are some tools to use. I just use GitHub. Just you write a README document with all these things on it. And then here's a bunch of other stuff. Also, if you're interested in contributing to open source, but you don't feel like your code is up to standard yet, a lot of open source projects are missing a lot of documentation. So if you're a good writer, or even if you're just an okay writer, adding even okay documentation can really help a project be more usable by more people. And then here's a thing about how to do software licensing, which is definitely useful. Oh, one more note. Let me go ahead and add this actually. Yeah, exactly. Like if it could use an FAQ or a wiki page or something like that, and it doesn't have one, yeah, add it. Because like even if it's just literally like you spent an hour and you wrote like a pretty good idea of some stuff and that's it, it literally can be so phenomenal for an open source project to begin documentation. And it's not hard. Like you don't have to be an expert in it. You just have to be like, oh, I know how to use this tool. Here's how I use it. And then other people can expand on it. Cool. So I just added a note that I need you guys to put a gitnor. You guys have 2 different operating systems in your group. You guys will overwrite each other's configs if you do not start a gitnor. So you need to put a node gitnor on your repo. Otherwise, y'all will be overwriting your configs and you'll be very unhappy. So just do that from the start. I'm going to answer this real fast because I think it's the vet. So verb. Hello. Hi.
So I got some more dad jokes.
Okay,
You
go
know.
ahead.
Also, okay. So this one is: do you know the last thing my grandfather said to me before he kicked the bucket? Grandson, watch how far I kick this bucket.
Okay. I would have said get a mop or something.
Okay. I got more. So, why does the graveyard look overcrowded?
I don't know. Too many dead people lying around.
Because people are dying to get in there. I told my friend my dad jokes, and she only laughed at one of them. She laughed at the French fry one, and she denies it. Like, she won't admit that it was funny. Dad jokes are fun.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your weekend?
It was great.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I spent almost all day on the computer trying to figure out that rock, scissors, paper thing, and I figured it out this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like,
what was the problem?
I think the problem is because I wrote like 3 versions, and I think the problem was my emojis. So I took the emojis out and I rewrote everything, and I did like pretty simple, like just if-else statement. If they rock, then it's a draw. If they do rock, scissors, they win. I just simple, basic if-else statements. And I took the emojis out.
I didn't want to do emojis. I tried like with Bootstrap, but it didn't show up. So it was just like a blank square. And I was like, how are you going to play rock, paper, scissors if you don't know what you're picking? And then I tried the image and it wouldn't work. So I just kept it simple.
Yeah, I just simple and, click the button. I mean, did a nice background and that's it. Okay, I think we're back on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. How's the cat?
The cat is good. She got she's spayed. She got a bunch of teeth removed. She got some kind of growth taken out of her mouth.
No.
Her teeth.
Her teeth were all sorts of nasty when we got her. Like,
do they grow back?
I don't know if cats grow their teeth back. I know dogs do. I don't know if cats do.
Well, man, she must be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll be in less pain now.
No, poor baby.
Oof. That would make me sick as a dog. Taking iron all day, I would be sick as a dog.
I'm anemic. I need iron every day.
Mm-hmm. No, I do, I have an iron intolerance, I think. And so if I drink too much grape juice or eat too much spinach or something, then I'm like, oh. Found that out in the worst way possible. I ate a kale salad and then I took a 2-hour car ride. I thought I was gonna die, y'all. Yeah, you could probably definitely afford to take all that iron then for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm anemic like heck. Oh, cats do not grow their teeth back unless they're their baby teeth.
Yeah, I don't think it's her baby teeth, so that's okay. We'll just feed her a bunch of wet food. She be aight. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess eat some toast. All right. Okay, so any questions about base level expectations of what I'm expecting from y'all?
Should we have a theme?
In your CSS, your pages should be consistent if you choose to add CSS. You should definitely be consistent. If your admin page and your user page look totally different, that is not a pleasant user experience.
Like by theme, I meant so we're supposed to have an email, we're supposed to be able to put an email in and a phone number and stuff like that. So should it be so it doesn't need to have a theme like how we did with our other one. Like my theme was Rick and Morty and stuff, so it doesn't need to.
Yeah. You can, if y'all group decide to make it a brand, that would be a good visual experience, you know, to be like, oh, we gonna make everything like, you know, NASCAR branded.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, why we need it. Yeah, either way. So at your bare minimum, if you turn in 2 HTML pages and some JavaScript and it all works, excellent. If you want to, I will give you guys extra credit for going through and doing the branding. And you can use pre-existing branding too. So like if there's like a company that you really like, go for it. Go crazy. If you don't want to though, or it's too much work, that's fine too. Make sure it works before you put the branding effort in, okay? But I will give you extra credit if you do branding. And you guys know I'm pretty chill. I don't want you to make an ugly website. Please don't make an ugly website just because I like them.
What is OctoCat?
It is the logo for GitHub.
No.
It's him.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, go crazy. I don't care. Please make this professional because this is your portfolio project. So like, don't go too far into the fun. You know, like I want you guys to have fun and I want you guys to play and experiment, but like this should be a portfolio grade project. So don't do like, you know, cannibal sites. Don't do like super sneaky, like, you know,
Fluffy bunnies everywhere.
fluffy bunnies everywhere. Yeah. Like if you pick a theme and go with it, you can make some kind of implementation like that. Because like the last one did like an ice cream store, and so I have not received any cannibal sites, but I have received a bunch of occult things.
Okay.
Fun project, but for this project, I want it to be a little bit more professional.
Okay, go with the boards.
Yes, no spooky. I mean, like you could do like Halloween, made a blood donation site. That's very generously worded. Cat facts. Yeah, that's fine. Like it can be cute. It could be fun. You guys have permission to make it fun. Just make it professional. Like they did the last class did like a very cutesy style, and so it was very sprinkles and colorful, but it was all put together very well, and so it was successful. It is more challenging to do a successful design when it's cutesy, so I don't recommend doing it because it can be really challenging to do well, and I'm going to grade you harshly for this project. So I would opt for boring over exciting for this project. But if you guys do want to be like, you know, I want to do a vet site, and so there's a bunch of cute animal background, that's fine. I just, you know, this should be a project that you are very proud of and you want to show off to other people. So make good decisions. Okay, any other questions about like general what I'm expecting of you besides Heroku and Jaws, which we'll talk about? Yeah, dog grooming, yep. Because you can have fun and it can be pretty, just don't go overboard. So any questions besides Heroku or Jaws about what I want from y'all? Cool. All right. So I want to talk about user requirements. Typically, when you're doing development, your user requirement piece is a little bit hard because your user or your client might not really understand what they want. So I've made it a little bit easier and I have told you exactly what I expect. So when I log on to the main page, so I go to your like clouds.heroku.com, there should be somewhere to put my phone number and somewhere to put my name and a submit button. Then when I do that, it goes to the database. So before it hits your database, it needs to be validated. So go back to like week 4 when we talked about form validation. What happens if I don't put a phone number in? What should it do? What happens if I put my phone number where my name should go? What should my phone number look like? What do I do about names with special characters in them, like apostrophes or dashes? How do I prevent SQL injection? What happens? Am I allowed to put duplicates inside the database? And these are all questions that I expect you to answer. So like think about it, talk about it with each other, and make a decision. Some other things to think about is how do you communicate these decisions to the end user? So like your end user might not care if it's SQL injection proof, but you should tell me how I'm supposed to put my phone number in. So think about these things as you're building out your application. Okay. Oh. Confused. Well, everything's on fire. Oh, okay. Cool. That's not for me. Excellent. Okay. All right. So this information should be in a database table, something like customers, users, clients. I don't super care as long as you know and it's all documented. It should go through Node to connect to the database. The admin page, all I want is it to print back out all the stuff from the database. So it should just be like a list of phone numbers and names. For extra bonus points, being able to sort those would be really nice. I recommend for bonus points, so get it to work and just print. But for bonus points, if you want to look into something like tables.js, you can do an implementation that allows everything to be sorted, and it does the formatting too. So it might be called datatables.js now that I'm thinking about it. But just if you got time and you want some extra credit, recommend it. So you'll be graded on completion, collaboration, and organization. So completion means I can go to the website, add my phone number and name, and then see it on the admin side. Collaboration means everyone's contributed to the project and documentation is good. This also includes things like, so notice nowhere in here is a requirement for a Trello board. Send me screenshots of that and I count that towards your documentation and collaboration. Nowhere on here does it say, plan meetings. Show me that you are planning regular meetings and I can add that to your collaboration points. Organization means you are writing clean code. If I ask somebody a question, they can answer it. So like on Friday, we're going to do a team meeting and everybody's going to talk about what they're doing. And if somebody's like, well, I don't really know, like that shows me that you guys are not all communicating and working together. So any questions about how I'm going to grade y'all, how much of this is worth for y'all, what I'm expecting, or anything like that. Oh, and also I want you to turn it in as the end is I just want the link to your Heroku website, the link to the GitHub repo, and any additional documentation. You just email it all to me. Your project manager will email it to me. Yes, 20 total points. Because it's 2 weeks. So that's what's up. It's 2 weeks worth of work, so that's 20 points. And you guys don't have any other homework going on for these 2 weeks, except for like catching up makeup work. Cool. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna pull up this shit. This, okay. So is everyone paying attention? Give me some emojis or smiley faces.
Nope. Not paying attention at all. Just sitting.
Okay. We're just sitting here. Okay. All right. Don't forget to pull from GitHub when adding to the project. Yep. Very important. All right. So, Haley, your role is front end. Give me some confirmation. Cool. Okay. Zizi, you are also front end. And then Chuella's not in this meeting, but she's going to be your other front end person.
My confirmation is yay!
Excellent. Okay. Irene, you're going to be back end.
Yep.
Christina, you are also going to be back end. And then Christine is also going to be back end. So it's you and the Chris's.
Okay.
And then Christine with an E is doing, I think she's doing some kind of test today. Some maybe I heard like military stuff. I don't remember. But that is what is up. Real estate. Okay, so she's doing her real estate stuff today. Very exciting. So you guys are back end. My 2 QA people are going to be Andrew and Tiva. I will type this in the Slack channel for y'all, yes. And then my project manager is going to be Sylvia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right up my alley.
Yes, I tried to pick things that I think you guys will all be the best at. So like organization and documentation, or my QA people. My back end people are going to be the just make it work problem solvers, and then my front end people are going to be like design, thinking about making it pretty, connecting pieces, all that. So you guys get to decide how this stuff works. You want to do the Scrum stuff too? Yeah, totally. Do it. Organize it. Do it to them. Work with your project manager and do it to them. Because writing out those tickets is definitely a QA thing. Oh, okay. That's cool too. If you don't want to do that, that's totally cool. Because like it's a lot of work to write out all those Trello tickets and all that. I highly recommend making a Trello board, sharing it with everyone, so it's very easy to know what the work is. Yes, make a Trello board. So front end, your guys' job is going to be to make the HTML and the front end JavaScript stuff. So your job is to hand your back end developers validated, correct information. And then your job is to take the information from the database and bring it back. The back end developer's job is to make sure the server runs, the website's up and running, and the database works. So you should trust your front end developers to give you correct information. It doesn't hurt to do extra validation though.
Yeah.
In the security world, we call it trust but verify.
Yeah. Who said that? Winston Churchill?
Probably. So trust but verify. Yeah, my QA people, you are going to be doing documentation. You are going to make sure everything works. You can do mocha testing if you want. 10 out of 10 billion bonus points if you guys write unit tests. You guys are going to make sure everything works. You guys are going to work with both groups of developers and your project manager to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to. Because it can be very easy to go down the incorrect path. So you can get really excited about something, and especially like front-end developers will probably do this more than the back-end developers, but they'll be like, ooh, what if we? And so it's QA's job to kind of wrangle them back and be like, no, we're doing this. So that's in general what your roles are. These are not set in stone. These are not like, if the QAs help do project management, the project manager does back-end development, like that's okay. These are rules to help divvy up labor and make things easier. It is not hard and fast. That being said, that's what I expect you guys to do. This is where I think you guys will have the most success. Are these roles? Does anybody disagree with me and want to change what their roles are?
I'm good.
Nope. Your backend engineers are going to do the SQL stuff. You just have to be able to hand in validated information. Cool. All right. Sounds like everybody's good. Excellente. So yeah, so that's what you're up to. So now,
Okay, this is probably just me being paranoid, but okay, so I'm still a little confused with we just hand them the validated information. Like, what do you mean? Like, in the
So-
slowest terms possible.
okay, so the user is going to type in information, and you want to put that information into the database. You don't want to just give the database information that has not been sanitized. So you are going to do the piece like make sure it's not empty, make sure it's not anything malicious, and make sure it's correct. So then, so like it'll be like, so it'll look like this. So you take your user input, you validate it, then you hand it to this.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. Thank you.
So you're doing this step. And then like Irene and the Chris's are going to do this step. They're going to take your validated data and put it into the database. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, use regexes if you want to. Just make sure to test them and document them and clearly explain what they're doing. But that's not a bad idea of how to handle it. Username and field database can't be longer than 50 characters. Then we should give an error message and not write it to the database. Yeah, exactly. Because so the thing is, if you throw a JavaScript error, that is much easier to recover from than a database error. Database errors can bring your entire system down. A front-end JavaScript error is just inconvenient. That is one more thing. I will try to break your server. So my back-end people, be prepared. So my front-end people, you need to write really good validation because I'm going to try to break your stuff. And the front-end stuff is, yes, Node exits on a database error in my experience. Exactly. So you want to make sure that I can't make your database throw an error. So, I'm not going to go like hardcore spy, but, I am going to try to get it to break. But if you write good validation, it won't let me touch your database at all. So, hardcore spy. Yeah, we're not going to do anything too hardcore. We haven't talked too much about like security concepts. We'll talk about it next week. But for the most part, like if it says put a phone number in, I shouldn't be able to put like, quotation marks and that kind of stuff.
So
Cool.
the backend people, we just create a database where all this.
Yeah, so your guys are going to be handling the Heroku piece. You guys are going to make it so that way you have a website that I can visit and that the database exists and works. And that you are running the correct copy of the code that your front-end developers and your QA people give you. All right, let me put this in Slack for y'all. I'll put this in the group project for y'all. Yes, good validation is important. Cool. So that's that. That's what I expect. Gosh, you want to look out? Yeah, you know. So that's what I want for you guys to do. It is due at 4 p.m. August 28th. That is next Friday. I will not accept late work for this. I will not be like nice about grading this. Like it is due 4 p.m. August 28th. That's it. Whatever you give me at that point, that's it. Also, if during normal performance your website fatally breaks, I'm going to grade brutally. So, if I can it breaks during SQL injection, I'm not gonna fail you guys. If it breaks when I'm putting my phone number and name correctly, so if during normal operation it fails, I'm gonna be very harsh. Yeah, so yeah, definitely put all your guys' meeting times, set up when you want to do stuff, all that. We will still have regular lecture, but just, I do highly recommend setting up meeting times. I do highly recommend talking to each other about everything and all that. All right. So now what I'd like to do, brutal, going for the jugular. Okay, any questions about what I'm expecting from y'all?
No, ma'am.
All right. So what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and take an actual break. We'll come back at 2:30 and then we will go over Heroku and JAWS so you have all the pieces you need.
Okay.
All right. I'll see y'all at 2:30.
Okay. Bye.
aggravated assault,
You'll be all right.
2 attempts to traffic over the border, and the list goes on. You got a last known address? Bluebird Arch.
Hey, man made an entrance. I was like, what is that?
Nowhere. That's out law 141. Makes sense what direction they're heading in.
Dana's going to pick him up.
Yeah, all right. Hey, Terrence. Thank you.
You got it, my man.
Anything you need, just let me know. Besides my girlfriend. Yo, Jesus.
God. Hi, Mom. Where the heck are you, sweetie? Are you out of your mind? Your sister is missing and yeah, no duh. Hey, sorry. I didn't mean to sass you, but Mom. The guy who Sterling and I work for, Mr. Bowser, he's been helping me track Sterling through the truck's Peach Pass and Sterling's bank account. And we think we know where they're headed. Mom, you have to trust me on this. I'll text you the address, okay? Just wait.
You said she's dangerous. What do you mean by that? Ma'am, we have a few questions about the person of interest.
Sure, if I could just have one moment with my husband. I know where Dana may be taking Sterling. We have to go.
Okay.
This is where you're from. Your roots. Your mama's been trying to hide it from you, but Aunt Dana's here to show you where you really come from. This could have been you in another life. Hey, baby.
What the hell is this?
Sterling, meet Levi.
You got Sterling.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Dana, this was not part of the plan.
Oh, well, if it's too much trouble, then I'm happy to be on my way. And you know what? I'll just have it. Don't worry about driving me. And Dana, I will see you at Christmas.
No. I'm good at adapting to new situations. Since you went and made this decision all by your little self, I got a better idea. We're gonna ask for more money.
Money from who?
From the Richie Rich Wesleys. You made a dumb bitch move, but you stumbled into a golden goose opportunity.
Shit, the gate's locked.
What the hell was that? Shut it, Blondie.
Do not call her that. It's our thing, baby. Come on, let's just put that gun down. Talk about it, all right?
How do you suggest I handle this situation, huh?
Back off.
I will not stand for you putting Sterling at risk.
You're all confident today. You taking the pill again without telling me? You know that's murder.
No. I'm just mad because you're acting all irresponsible.
Enough. All right? I'm sorry, baby. Let's say a quick prayer, and then we'll lock her in the bathroom till the shit dies down outside. All right. Let's go. Come on up, little girl. Bow your heads. Dear Lord, please help Dana and Sterling not to screw this whole thing up. In Christ's name. Amen. All right, in the bathroom. Now, get her in the bathroom.
You don't have to do this, you know. That guy seems kind of mean. No, he's not mean. He's passionate. Besides, I want some grace. He's given me so much. What do you mean? When I was lost, down, real empty-handed, he gave me a place to sleep. You know, food to eat, a reason to keep going, keep on hiding. Oh, wow, you really put all your eggs into one poorly woven basket. so sweet. Why don't we just leave? The two of us just sneak out and don't look back. Can't leave him. I don't have a choice. No, you do have a choice. We always have a choice. Be a good Christian. The real God.
Oh Lord, I had the mic on the whole time.
Yeah. I just put my headphones on, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I asked what she was listening to, and I didn't think you heard me.
I wrote you in the spot in the message.
Oh, I walked away after I texted it, so I just saw it. I got some tortilla chips.
I had
Ooh.
some fruit snacks, but I'm like hella hungry. So I think I'm gonna eat after class. I'm supposed to have a meeting, but I might be eating during that meeting. Eat this.
What you gonna eat?
I don't know yet. I don't know what I got in the fridge. I got a lot of leftovers.
Bro, I wish I had leftovers.
I'm like since the apocalypse has started, I don't know what like my issue has been. So like I would cook on Sundays and then I'd eat leftovers the whole week. But since the apocalypse has started, I've just been like, I don't want to eat leftovers. So I don't know what's up with me.
Probably because your mind's like, hey, we can't do eating out no more, you know? You gotta stay in.
That's what I'm saying though. I used to cook and eat leftovers all the time, and now my brain's like grilled cheese and that's it. And I'm like, okay, homie, I guess. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoot this guy over a little bit so I can still see y'all. I'm gonna rejoin the meeting over here. Okay, so then now I can share the screen.
Ooh, I see you twice now.
I know. Is there like a little bit of a delay between the two?
All right. Y'all facing opposite directions. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The one camera's right here, and then the other camera's over here. And the one's a laptop camera, and the other one is pulling out the angles. Y'all can see my chin acne from multiple angles. I think it's because I wore a mask out in public all day Saturday, and so now I have some chin acne. It's real
Then
great.
we got 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can see it 3 times now.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. All right. There we go. I should be back to 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the Heroku demo with y'all. I'm going to be like just looking at this screen. So sorry if all you're looking at is my shoulder. I guess I can come like here. Cool. All right. So we're going to go to Heroku. I'm going to make the node demo for y'all. You guys are going to go through and do this on your own. I recommend having your project manager do this step, but definitely probably do it like as a team unit so everybody knows what's up. All right. So you guys have already made an account. You guys have already downloaded Heroku, so all of you will be able to play with the service. So it should be, that is the time-consuming part, and that's why we did it previously together, is because that's the time-consuming part. So you'll get something like this, and it'll get an auto-generated project name, and you'll add and install for JAWS DB. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got?
You said add and install for what? I'm sorry.
JAWS DB. We'll talk about it in just a second. It's just how we're going to set up the database. So instead of using like your computer in MySQL, you're going to just use MySQL on a JAWS DB, so that way it's hosted. All right, I want to make a new one. How do I make a new one? Here we go.
It's
New
a cloud database.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Do I get to name it? Oh, buongiorno. Okay. This isn't how I want to do it. Oh, this is actually pretty easy though. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna tab through real fast. I don't know what I have open on my other tab, so if it's something terrible, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I guess I don't have it open. Okay, I'm gonna flip to my GitHub real fast. I'm gonna find a node project that already exists. So this would be, actually, yeah, let's start all the way from the beginning. So I'm gonna make a new project in Node. I'm gonna be like, this is my group project. So like you guys want to do like a dog washing one, I think has been the general consensus. So I'm gonna do like, I don't know, we'll call it shopping request. That's what I'm gonna do for my description. App for shopping wait list. I initialize it with README. I'm gonna add a getNor for Node. This is really important. You guys have two different operating systems, and so if you only do, if you don't put a getNor in it, the Windows machines are going to try to overwrite the Mac stuff, and the Macs have a file that the Windows machines can't read, and it might throw a fit. So make sure you put this getNor in there. And if there's a DS store, you need to just delete it. The Mac computers will put the DS store back, and the Windows machines will be very angry. So make sure your DS store does not get connected. And then you can add a license. I recommend the GNU or MIT. Those are probably the only two that you would need. Spend some time, do some research. Your QA people can spend some time with this and pick one that works. I'm just going to pick MIT.
So do we make this, or just one person makes this and then
one?
Okay, the project manager, right?
Yes, one person makes this, and then Haley asked also a good question: do you fork this or make branches? Let's think about it. So I would do everybody gets their own fork, but you could also make an argument for branches and giving everybody access. Forks will give your project manager more control. Giving everybody their own branches will make it easier for everyone else to merge. I recommend forks and having one person handling it and untangling it. Obviously ask for help and make sure it's all correct. But I would recommend everyone make their own fork. Because then if you break your own thing, that's okay. You're not going to touch the main project. So that's what I recommend doing. You can do your own branches, and that's fine. That is a totally valid way, probably the better way. How would you push when you're finished? You create a pull request for the two branches, well, the two forks. So I'll show you guys that. But it's just creating a pull request just like you do with the two branches. Okay. Oh, also, you guys can see my cow sign. There's my cow sign. I didn't realize you guys got multiple angles, so you see my cow sign in my house.
Why do you have a cow sign in your house?
One of my friends liberated it from its current position, and then one of my other friends drew on it and put a googly eye on it. It's collaborative urban art.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my friends stole it, and now it's in my house. Some of the stuff on my walls I actually paid for, but not most of it. Not most of it. All right. Yeah, forks are probably the way to do it. And I'll show you guys how to make all this stuff. So we're going to make this. We're going to clone it. Mm-hmm. Close. Terminal. Can I open this? There we go. Okay, again, no stress. This is me going through my Docker class. Don't stress about this. Okay. and a CD to repos. Put this in projects, I think. Git clone this. Okay, so now I have that in there. I could make a fork, and then you just merge your forks just like you merge a project one. So, okay, so I got this. I'm going to go ahead and open it in VS Code. Actually, yeah, let me do... No, I'll do them separate. So I'm going to make a node stuff, commit it, push it, show you guys how to make it talk to Heroku, and then I'll branch it after that's been set up and make changes on the branch and merge those back. So that's what we're going to do. So I now have my project. I'm in the master branch, and so this would probably only be your project manager doing it, but like, you know, maybe one of your backend people are gonna like come in and set it up. Just make one person make these choices. Okay, so I'm gonna open up my terminal. I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna set everything up. So I'm gonna do npm init, because it's a node project. Okay, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so now I have my package set up. So we're getting there. We're getting some stuff done. I might go in here and maybe add something. Like if you want to do actual Mocha tests, you come in here and change your testing. You can add other scripts like npm start if you need to run some stuff. That all goes in there. So then we also, oh, I see my baby. My baby's getting brought home. I'm so excited. Okay, so now we got this set up. So then we probably want to do like npm install express. We'll let that run. How is she doing? We're going to install MySQL because we want to be able to talk to the databases. So I'm going to let that run.
Even though we're using Heroku, will we still install MySQL on our local machines? Okay, gotcha.
Because you want to be able to test it. Hi, cutie. Are you a little bit high? She's walking very funny, y'all.
Oh, probably all drugged up.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That's going to be a refrigerator or not. That's the microchip.
Oh, excellent. Okay. We don't know if these need to be refrigerated or not.
When
And she has to start these tonight.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
You have to work.
Oh, yeah, you still have to work. Okay. I love you.
Huh?
Oh, she's pricey.
Yes.
Thank you.
How much? What time is
All
it?
right, so it's easy on the front of getting a pet or a child. That was like $400.
Okay, it's 2:45. Takes 15 minutes to get there.
I know. I need my pads on there.
And put them on there.
I don't have my pads.
All right, Irene, I'm gonna mute you real fast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot.
It's all good. Oops. Cancel. All right, it's all good. Okay. All right. Yeah, she had a lot done today. She had a lot done today. Hi, honey. Hey, baby. Allegedly, she'll be a lot more loud now. All right. We also, these are just things that I think will help. Is going to be body parser. Oops, that's not going to work. You have to install it. You can't just run it. Hi, honey. You come up. Oh, my baby. Hi, baby. Oh, here's the baby, y'all. Oh, my poor baby. She's so cute, y'all. can settle down. All right. She does look very sleepy. All right. Oh, I didn't hit enter. I'm sorry. I thought that was running. Mommy, I've been trying to get all these things to run while I'm messing about, so that way we're not waiting. Okay. I think that's all that we need. You might find that there's some other modules that'll help, like URL, path, all that kind of stuff, but I think that's all we have to install. So I'm going to go into my README and I'm going to write dev build needs express. Are you leaving? Okay, be careful. Oh, poor baby. Express, MySQL, and body parser. Just because I installed those, if you want to be real fancy, you could write an npm script for this and then just say, dev build run npm build, and you can do that. She's so cute, y'all. Okay. But since I don't want to write a script, I'm just going to write, hey, you need that. And then bam, look, we're already starting our documentation. I come in here and write a script if I want to. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remember how Express works. And I don't want to mess up too much here. Okay, so let's just test this piece and then we'll get Express set up. So what I want to do is I'm just going to make an index.html and an index.javascript. You can name this app, you can name this, fluffy bunny, whatever, doesn't matter. Probably index body parser. It will probably make your life easier to hand information back and forth from the database. Not a requirement, just something I see a lot of people use and tends to make it easier. So it is a thing to look into. Okay. So in here, I'm just going to do the auto tab stuff, and I'm just going to add some content. So then we can see that and we know it works. And then in here, all I'm going to do is just console.log. It worked. Oops, it's a string. So nothing super fancy here. I've made a repo with a git nor and a license, which is new. We definitely have not made a license before. Do a little bit of research and figure out which one you want to do. Probably GNU or MIT though. You want to come here, honey? You come here. I'll hold you. Come on. Come here, honey. Oh. Poor babe. So, all right, so we've done that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to read whatever the Heroku instructions are. Okay, so first we're going to log in. I'm going to cd into that repo real fast. Heroku, login, go. Hi, honey. Press any key, go. I keep waiting for it to just run, and it's like, are you going to press a key? And I'm like, hello, are you going to go? All right, log in. Hang on, sorry, y'all. It tried to log into the wrong one. Give me just a second. Okay. Oh, please be careful. Okay. This is the one I'm logged into. Go. Let me log in. There we go. Okay. Go. There we go. Okay, then we can go here. We go here. Okay, we're logged in. Excellent. Okay. So now we go and we read the rest of our instructions, and that's why I got you guys to download Heroku before, is because it takes a long time. But then once you're there, you're good. Okay, we're in our project. We're gonna do this. We already have a new report. So we're gonna do I don't know if this is going to throw an error. We're going to find out. It says it shouldn't, but I don't believe it. We're going to find out. And remember, if you're in Git Bash, you need to use reinitialized. Okay, awesome. You're going to have to do shift insert, not just control C, control V, just so y'all remember that. I'm just copying the command because it told me to. It also says I need to update Heroku. Okay, I don't care though because I'm a bad person. And then look at that. These two, these all look pretty much the same. I do want to just talk about what these two parameters, arguments, I don't know what else to call them, are doing. Commit-A is kind of like pushing your add and all together, so that way it makes sure everything gets add. And then M is message, which we've seen before. So this is saying, hey, commit everything and here's a message. So that's what this step's doing. Everything else I think we've seen before, but we haven't seen that. So I just wanted to make sure y'all know what's up. All right. So git add, that's fine. That's pretty normal. We've seen that a lot. Git commit with the message. That's fine. We've seen that before. And then it tells us everything that got committed. That all looks good. And then here's the magic. Oh, it says we could have just done the last command. That's okay, though. So notice this is what is called a build process. So remember last week when I started talking about build processes, this is what it is. This is what we'd write NPM scripts to do. This is an NPM script running in the background doing this. It's going through, it's compressing files, it's running Node, it's doing all of that. And then it's verifying our deployment. So then now, oh, you know what, y'all? I did it dumb. The JavaScript file is not going to run. That's okay, though. Then we go here, and then we should be able to open app. And then notice it's buongiorno.heroku.com. Application error. Yay, it's broken. Okay, let's find out why it's broken. So I'm just going to, it said, you know, check your stuff. So we're going to check it. Oh, we don't have a start script, so it's real unhappy with us. Okay, that's fine. So remember how I said, you know, you probably want to put a start script and all that in your package.json. It says you gotta. So we're going to do that. So we're just going to come in here. We're going to do start. And we're going to do, oops, we're going to do it on the same line because we're not heathens. And we're going to say, our start command is going to be node index.js. And that should do it. So then all we need to do, git add, git commit, spell everything correctly. Git, I don't remember what the Heroku command is. Oh, we didn't do it in here, so we gotta go find it. Doop. Okay, so then we have to rebuild it. Takes a little bit of time.
So doing it in order, we would do that after we install like Express, MySQL, and Body Parser. Then we would go in and add that start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can do it from the beginning because you're not going to run that command till after you add that file. So you could do it from the beginning. You just need to make sure you add it before you try to start your program. Because basically, like, so Heroku was like, okay, this is a Node application, start. And we didn't write a start script, so it was like.
Gotcha.
So as long as you write it before that, that's all that matters. Okay, so then now, rerun. Nope. Did it deploy? It said deployed. Let's give it a build succeeded, and then we'll wait until it says build succeeded. Maybe we're just being impatient. And then notice that this all is doing documentation for you too. So like this kind of stuff is really nice for looking at it. You done? You build succeeded yet? Let me close this. It says it's on. I don't know. Let's try again, I guess. And then we'll look at the logs. I think it's not done building though. We'll see. Oh, whoops. So I'm gonna go up and run that Heroku logs again. There's the console.log, it works. So we can see that right here. So that means that it's running that index file. So that's something. We get in there. But it looks like it's really unhappy because we don't have any of this stuff set up. Okay, so that's an Express thing. So now we have a Heroku instance. So like, it doesn't do anything right now, but like you guys, let me do this again. Like you guys can go here and see this. Oh, hang on, I gotta go here. Huh? So like this is a website that just exists. And I think you guys, if we do this, you can see the console. No, you can't. Okay, it's real unhappy. But I think that's because I did not, but I don't think I have to. I think it's unhappy because I haven't written any of the node stuff yet. So it's expecting it to be node and it's not working. And so it's crashing. That's what I'm thinking is going on. Okay. So then,
should we wait until some of the like node stuff is written to like make the Heroku?
you can start playing with this like as soon as you go. You just have to get the version controls to match and make sure everything's updated.
Okay.
But you probably want to get this started pretty soon because this is how you're going to connect the database.
That's what I thought. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So then, I want to do. I just want the code, and we're just going to kind of cheat. Oh, I also don't have this. That might be. No, we've done this. Prepare the app. We're going to go here. And we're going to scrape some code because we already have it set up. You can also follow these instructions, and then you just change the code. That works too. It's probably not the proper way to do it, but that does work. All right. So we're going to go in here. We're going to just cheat. We're going to go in here. Go in here. So what this is doing is it's going to console.log the port. It's going to set up the views, which we don't have, so we got to do that. Is it public first? Views first. There's also easier ways to set up Express stuff. I'm just being really lazy, all things considered. So I'm going to make views. I'm going to make public. Oops, not outside that place. Just in here. And you could do like an Express setup and all that, and that would probably be better. That needs to come here. Yes. I know that much. What else do you have in views? Pages, index. Oh yeah, make it EJS. You're right. You're right. Okay, make you EJS. But that's still HTML, so that should be fine. Install EJS. Yep. That's a good point. That's a good point. And so then I'm also going to go into my README and I'm going to add that too. Oh, oops, there we go. Good point. Okay, so now we put that in there and then we have this. Set view agent, EJS path, directory name. Do I need anything else? I don't think so. I guess I can add a proct file too. This is procfile.txt, I think, right? Okay, let's just see if this works. And then we'll see. There are easier ways to do it. I'm being very lazy and terrible. So, do this. Oh, did I not save everything? I'll look safe. Okay. Okay. This build should probably take a bit because we changed a lot of stuff. Then it has to go through to do the dependencies and it has to prune and like this is all our build process stuff. To poke at Pug, it looked easy enough. But yeah, exactly. If you want to use Pug, go ahead. Ain't nothing wrong with it. UJS just look like HTML though. All right. So then, wait, did we just do this? We just did this. We're pushed. Okay. Boop. Then we go in here. And then we see we just did another build succeed. Good, good, good. We're in V5. All right, open up. Well, progress. It's now displaying that it has an internal server error. Cool. All right, what's up? So I think it's because I don't have this in Pages. I can't believe that the fave icon is a thing breaking it. But I guess it is. So then we make this Pages, and then we're going to put this inside of Pages. Yes, and then is that a public resource or a view resource? Yeah, I don't know if this is what's wrong with it. It feels like it shouldn't be throwing a fit that there's no icon, but it seems like that's what it's doing. Oh, and you can also do partials with EJS, which is really cool. Okay, fine. All right, so I'm just going to download this. Can I download it? Can I download it? I guess I can save it. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to put that in public. I'm just moving things around so I can click and drag this guy. Yep, all the way across. Oops. Oh, that's big. The big file. All right. That's weird. I didn't know you could do that. All right. You go in here. Okay. So anyways, I guess you can click and drag that if that makes your life better. Yeah, pages are like where you put most of your content, and partials are for stuff where you want to put pieces of code that you're going to reuse over and over again. So like in here, they use partials for their headers. So they have a header in all of them. Yes, you can make a nav bar and then include it elsewhere. Yeah, and so then we go back to our pages, and we click on like our index, and then you write an include statement, and that's what writes. So that way you can modularize your code. That's one of the big benefits of EJS over just plain HTML, are these include statements. Just walk around, chilling. Good questions. But yeah, so this is most of the stuff. Cool. All right.
Morgan, just make sure I understand. When we create the repo and we're gonna have the master branch, and when they fork from it, they're still gonna need to npm install all these packages and everything, right?
Yes.
On their machines.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I was understanding.
Yeah,
Okay.
because otherwise when you go to run it and test it on your local machine, you're gonna get all the dumb errors like Express
All
doesn't
the
work.
errors, right?
Yeah. So that's why I wrote the notes about what the dev build is.
Okay.
So that is a good question. All right. So then we're going to open up terminal, git add, git commit, git push. And then we wait for the build process. Quality of life things stay excellent. I'm glad. Yeah. And a lot of learning quality of life coding things are like going through and doing it poorly a bunch of times and then learning. So me. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's take a look. Okay. So Buongiorno build succeeded. Okay. All right. Let's open it. Success. Okay. Heroku is backend. So Heroku, setting up the Heroku piece and doing this is going to be your backend developer's job. Because Heroku, you're going to set up the database and you're going to set up all this stuff. And then your front end person is just going to write all the code that would go here and the validation. So your backend and your front end people work pretty closely together. But like your backend person is going to be the person who owns the Heroku stuff. So then now like you guys can go to the Heroku site and it's just here. It just works. You know, you can do whatever you want. It's free. So like, you know, you can maybe name it not something dumb like Buongiorno. You used to not be able to name it. You used to just auto-generate names.
Okay, so as a backend developer, I have to wait for the project manager to set up the GitHub first, right? And do the Heroku.
So you can set up the Heroku piece, but you will need the project manager to give you the repo.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so like you can make your account and set up and make an app, but you will need the code to do it. Okay, so I want to show you guys. Sylvia, do you have a question before I keep going?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, do we all still set up Heroku on our own machines, or will she send us a?
You don't need to set up your own application,
Right.
but having Heroku installed and being able to log in will let you work on Heroku.
Okay.
So you don't need to make your own application, but you should have your own account. So as front end, do we have to wait for Heroku to be set up? No. Once you have your repo, you can test all your stuff locally. So front end devs don't need to wait for the back end devs except for the database connection piece. So to write that code and make sure everything works, you will have to wait for your back end devs. But to do your validation, make it pretty, make both the pages, make sure everything's accessible, you can do all that without the back end devs. Then once your back end devs so the flow is probably like back end devs and project managers set everything up. Front end devs start working. Back end devs set up the database. Front end and back end devs work together. QA people analyze the progress and make sure everything's going correctly. Project manager touches base with everyone to make sure everything's on the same page. Integration between front end and back end happens. Testing, 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 testing. Improvements from all developers. Project manager making sure things are happening. Development and documentation happens continually through the cycle. Testing, 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 testing. So that's pretty much what the flow is going to be. Your front end devs are going to have a lot of work in the beginning, then it kind of flows to back end, then it goes to QA, and then it kind of flows back and forth between those groups. With the project manager just kind of like, okay, hey, this person needs this, can you do this? And just making sure everyone's on the right page. And that's what the QA people do too. As for the rep, what do you mean the rep? The repo? Yeah. So Sylvia would make the repo and then y'all would all fork it. Ooh, color tags and Trello. Ooh, we on this. She making groups. She got y'all. Excellent. Very exciting. So I want to show you two things before class wraps up today, and I have to leave right at 4 because I have a meeting at 4. I need to actually be at. So I want to show you guys how to attach a database, and I want to show you guys how to fork stuff. So I'm going to do forks first, and then we'll attach the database. So I'm just going to refresh the page so we can see that everything actually worked. Or did it not? Because now it's connected to the other piece. Dun, dun, dun. I'm trying to remember how to show me what my branches are. Get show remote. Get config. Get remote show. Heroku and origin. Oh, okay. Cool. So all of my work has been done in my Heroku branch, and that's just a regular Git thing. So, cool. You guys got a meeting set up. Cool. So the issue is I need to figure out how to make these two talk to each other so that way we can use GitHub for stuff. So I guess I have like the most basic and probably not best practice way would just literally be copying and pasting. So I have Origin and Heroku as two branches on my machine, my local machine. So I could just copy and paste these over. That is an option. Not great, not good news. But if everything is on fire and you just need things to work, make it work, you know? So, emojis. So what I'm going to do is take some time to figure out how to make these two talk to each other. I think I can just open up Git Bash and just reset some things. But that's going to take me a minute to figure out, because I don't know off the top of my head how to make a Git repo talk to just a regular GitHub repo. I'll do some digging. So let's talk about the database thing, and then we'll hop back into this and get this figured out. Because these can be separate for a bit while you're figuring out all your front-end work anyways. And push comes to shove, you can just copy paste stuff. So let's talk about database stuff real fast. So we go to our overview. You go to this install add-ons, and then you search. We're going to use JAWS because it's MySQL and it's free. Yes, you want the free one. No. That's more money than I make in a year. Free. You will have to verify with a credit card. So whoever has this Oroku account who's maintaining it will have to put their credit card in. It will not charge you, but you do have to put a card in. So if you don't want to, get one of the other backend people to do it. Just so you know. Oh, and then see, here we go. Man, I am not lucking out, y'all. All right. So I'm going to move this off screen real fast. I'm going to go get my credit card. I cannot luck out, y'all. Okay, burp. I'm going to go get my credit card and verify my accounts. I can show you how to add a database. Let me go grab my card. I'll be back. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't wake you up, but. Yeah, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a credit card. It can be a regular card. You just have to add a card. So let me do that real fast. I don't think you can use a gift card. I think you have to use like a real card. I know this is riveting stuff. I thought this account was already verified, but I guess not.
So I got the perfect dad joke to pass the time.
Okay.
What's
Lay it on.
ET short for?
What?
Because he only got tiny legs. So I was like, it's perfect. And it's quiet. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but not really.
But it counts because you said kinda.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, okay.
Oops, 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 oops. Okay. Alrighty. All right. So now I should be able to. I'm going to close this and refresh the page just in case. Heroku is pretty good about doing things dynamically. But just in case, we're going to refresh it. And then we're going to go back. We're going to do JAWS DB. JAWS. Yep, I want the free one. This is really well documented too, so if you have a question or a hard time with it, go read the JAWS documentation. It's really, really useful. Okay, so now we have that. And then look, it says, hey, here's an article about how to do it. Attached as a database, all that. So now you have a Heroku server, and it has a domain name, and it has your node and regular front-end code all hooked up all together. We have to still fix the version control stuff so that way we can do all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, that's a little bit less than an hour of work with me being distracted by my cat and having to provision my card, and that's how far we got in an hour. So it's exciting. Okay, so then we can go in here and we can look at all this stuff and figure out how to do everything. I'm not going to go too crazy into it. Here's how to use it. And it'll show you everything and how to set everything up and all that. So I'm not going to go too deep into it because I want you guys to learn and explore. But it should be pretty easy. This is also like how to reset your account info, which is very useful. There is also technically a limit. I don't think anyone has ever had a hit with their limit, but it does exist, just so you know. All right. So play with that. Make sure you're in the node section. Don't be trying to set up Ruby on Rails in your node project. You'll have a bad time. Cool. So that's how you connect that piece. Then you just write node code. Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of fun. You can play with this piece. So now we got JAWS. It's free. Everything's free. Just play. So now we have that fixed. So I'm going to spend trying to figure out how to get the version control set up so that way y'all can fork everything and it'll behave. All right. And then hardcore, if you have any ideas about what I'm trying to do, that'd be fabulous. But if you don't, that's okay too.
Any ideas about what was that one more time? I couldn't hear you.
So it's all good. So right now, let me zoom in a little bit. This has set up 2 separate Git repos for this project, and I want both of them to have the current version of the code without just copying and pasting over. So that's what I'm trying to find the solution for. And then one's Git.
I believe it's that just. I think it's that Git Heroku master where you like set it as a remote destination. So when you I think you saw. I mean, the way I've always done, I think you push to both. Like you can develop locally, and then you decide when you want to like push it to the cloud and just
so I
copies
messed
that
up
current
then.
version of between Git.
Okay, so then Git branch, I think is what I want. Oh, okay, so can I do... okay, so I just do this, and then... Well, I'm glad I asked you before I spent a lot of time, because if this works, that's no worries at all. Git put...
Well, you should. I still think you have to push. We'll have to check. Yeah, you should push the Heroku master or whatever it is,
Yes,
right?
but I've done both. Okay. Okay, excellent. That's not near as terrible as I thought it was going to be. I'm very glad that I asked you before I just started doing stuff.
Okay, I
Cool.
I would check it, but I mean, let me look at my
Yeah,
Heroku.
no, that looks good. That is exactly what I wanted it to do. So whoever has, if you're running stuff, like you want to build to go to Heroku, you need to run that git push Heroku master. If you are just updating your branch, you just run git push origin. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand like what me and Nick were talking about, or do you want me to go over it again?
Think about it this way. You now have 2 repositories. You have your cloud Heroku, like your deployment repo, and you have your development repo. So like as you build things and test them, so once it's tested and it's good, you want to take that build, you want to push it to Heroku, right? And then you build some more stuff on the GitHub repo. I think you can just do regular git push. The only thing that's different is when you want to push to Heroku, you do like I can't remember the exact name, like git
I think
push
it's
Heroku master,
push.
right?
Yeah.
That's something along those lines.
Yeah. So let me edit. I'm going to edit the README real fast and show you guys what we're talking about. So we go into the README
separately, Morgan.
You what?
You're gonna push to Heroku and GitHub separately.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So think about it like kind of like our forks and branches. So our GitHub one is kind of our testing environment where everyone can see the code, but it's not pushed to production yet. Pushing to Heroku is the same thing as pushing to production. And so that's only going to be for code that we know works or we need to test it in production. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change my README and I'm going to be like, I'm going to write down just what we just said. So if you are pushing changes that do not need to be live yet, do a regular, that's not spelled right, push. If the changes need to be live, run git push Heroku master. I'm going to add a space because that's what Markdown wants, and I'm going to spell regular correctly. I'm going to save it. and then I'm going to do git add. Yeah, and then Nick put the commands in there too. Commit m.
It
And
has
you
AM
can,
in there. I don't know what it's
yeah.
about. I would just use M though.
Yes, you can just use m. It's committing all just in case there's a file that gets dropped.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like, because we technically should do that because we're doing git add dot. We should technically say commit all. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then we're updating the README.
You're saying it's two different flags instead of like a combined AM flag. Okay, it's all and then message. I got what you're saying. All right.
Yep. Good. That is a very good question, though. They are combined flags, not a unique new flag. That is a good question. Yes, you can use the version control stuff that is built in with VS Code. I strongly encourage you to use the CLI because it's faster and gives you more nuanced control, but you can use other tools. You guys are now at the point where I'm not going to yell at you if you decide to use GitHub desktop or if you use the version control thing over here. I highly still recommend using the CLI. It just makes you so much faster and it gives you a lot more control. And you don't develop a reliance on the tools.
Yeah, and I was going to say this too. Like, it's probably as a case for using the CLI, it's better to learn one hard thing one time than 30 easy things 30 different times. So that's why I like it, because it's the same everywhere you go. So the CLI is the exact same thing. So it makes it's a default you can like go to when things get messed up.
Refresh. Okay, so I've pushed a change to my origin branch. Yes, it is nice. That's what we're saying. Like, if you want to use it, go for it, but don't stray too far from the light. And like you in particular, like I'm not overly stressing. If GitHub is challenging to you though, learning a new tool on top of it is not recommended. If you are 100% comfortable, you can do this in your sleep and using a menu makes it easier, go for it. But if you're still struggling, you got to get the fundamentals down. It's like baking. Like if you still struggle to bake cupcakes, maybe it's not time to go learn how to make macaroons. It's just not time. Okay, so my origin has changed. So the GitHub one that everyone can see has changed. But if I go, oops, that's not what I want. If I go here and I go to activity, notice the last thing was 318. So we have updated our origin, but we have not updated our Heroku one. Yeah, definitely. Like if you hate the GUI, go CLI. Yeah, totally. All right. So I've made a change and I've just pushed it to origin and I haven't changed my deployment. So my live product is still exactly the same. And we can look at it. Like we can open it and it's exactly the same. Cool. Since it's just the README, I'm not going to deploy a build because it's not going to change. But if I had code, so like let's say I go into my views, my page, and I go in here, I'd be like, oops, lowercase, whoa, boop. I'm all sorts of messing up. This is a change I want to push to live. So I'm going to go through, and I'm sure there's a way to combine this for both, but I'm going to commit and add it to both pieces. I'm going to do my local one first to push to origin, and then I'm going to do my live deploy to push it to Heroku. I don't know why that word disappeared from my brain, but it just like left. So same thing. Go ahead.
I think you can omit the origin. The only time I do the origin thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only time you should have to do the origin thing is if you don't have that secret .git file, which if you're cloning a repository, you should have by default. So like if you download the zip, which again, strongly don't recommend doing that.
Yeah.
If you do, then you have to specify an origin, and I think it will build the Git folder after that.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's the only time I ever release the origin. Otherwise, I just do git push. I'm kind of lazy. Just use that.
For this specific instance, I would probably put origin on it just so you know what's happening. Like, I didn't put git push origin here and it worked, but just so you can keep it straight in your head which one you're pushing to, I would probably use origin, just so you know what's up. You do not have to, but just so that way you can keep track of what's up. But yes, as we can see, I did just git push and it totally worked. So if you're on top of it and you don't need that to keep yourself organized, go for it. It's not required. Okay, so my local one, I changed local code and maybe like I ran, I did testing. I read my HTML. I committed it to the GitHub repo so all my other team members can see it. And then, okay, so my QA person was like, yep, that looks good, deploy to live. So then I think I don't need to do another git add commit. I think I can just do git push Heroku master. We might need to re-add and recommit, but it looks like it's going. So then now I'm deploying to my live server. Oh,
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, cool. If you specify it can't do something else. This is true, yeah. So like if you are very specific and you tell it exactly what you're expecting, it'll do exactly what you're expecting. So now I've pushed to live. So then I can go back to Chrome and then notice we've built. So we can go here, we can open app, and there we go. This is a change I want to push to live, and it got pushed to live. And I can see it in, oops, sorry button. Boom, and then I refresh this, and we can see that my index just changed. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, right? No, my bad. Not the index here, the index.html changed. Right here, it changed. So the order of operations is make a change, test it, commit to your local fork of your GitHub stuff, get it approved, push to Heroku. Does that make sense? And that makes sense why we have to do it in that order too, right? Cool. Okay, so I want to show you guys forks, and then we'll have time for questions too. So think about questions you have. So your one person's going to make this repo, and everybody else is going to fork it. So probably Sylvia is going to make the repo, would be the owner of the repo. So everyone else is going to go to the repo that Sylvia made and hit fork. You guys will not have this pop up. It will just go because you guys do not have multiple GitHub accounts. I have multiple GitHub accounts. So I'm going to clone it as the Clubhouse. You'll get this screen. It shouldn't take too long, but it might. So, if it does, that's okay. So now I've created a fork. A fork is, remember like when we were drawing all the pictures of GitHub and like all the branches and lines and connecting and all that? A fork is an exact copy of a repo pulled away and is now owned by you. This is really wonderful if you are going to make a project your own project, or just to simply manage multiple things. Like technically the best practice would be everybody would make their own branch under the same project, but forking adds a little bit of safety. So you've made your own fork that's owned by you. So Sylvia made the original one. Everyone else has a owned copy by themselves. And this also will help prevent like people writing over each other's code, which I think will be helpful. So what we're going to do is you're going to copy your forked repository. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to CD up one. And I'm going to, you don't have to do this step. I just don't want to have two repos named the same exact thing, same thing in the same folder. You don't have to do this step. And I'm going to CD into there. And then I'm going to git clone the fork. Because notice it would be named the same project, and so it would be real angry with me. So I'm going to CD into that. I'm just going to make a change. I'm just making a change just to show you guys how this works. Great. Okay, exit. And obviously you do not have to write code in Nano. I just don't want to leave the CLI because I'm lazy. So I've made a change. Git add. git commit with a message, git push. This is a forked one that does not talk to the Heroku one at all. So I can just push. It doesn't talk to Heroku at all. Like if I do git remote -v. That's it. All it has is an origin. It doesn't have that Heroku piece because we didn't do that Heroku line. We got the Heroku one by running that Heroku remote command. So then I go back to Chrome. Sometimes it'll be really nice to you and it will just say, hey, do you want to make a pull request? It didn't, which is fine. So then we go to our pull request tab, we hit new pull request, and then we want to compare across forks. And then notice here it says the owner's name and then mine. So this should say Sylvia, which I think her username is sgates, and then this should have your GitHub name on it. So owner, the branch we're on, you go here, create pull request. And then you should be leaving comments for Sylvia so she knows what's up. So you should write something like testing forking functions. Then you create pull request. So I'm the owner, so I get to see both of these, but you won't. This will be the end of what you can do. It will say something like no conflicts or has conflicts that need to be manually resolved. And so you'll leave those, and then Sylvia will go in, or the QA people, maybe you want to give them this kind of access too so they can do it, so you don't have to do it all yourself. We'll come in, read through everything, read the code, which you can do that by clicking here, and then you get what we call diff, and it shows you what changed. And then you can come in here, highly recommend doing this. Click on the code, commit it, comment, and all that. I can't approve my own pull request. But yes, I can leave a comment and be like, oops, miss. This would be Sylvia or a QA person doing this. So that way you can provide feedback. You'd probably hit that request changes button. So like if there was a typo or a function that didn't work or something, you would do that. If you can check the boxes to approve each file in the git diff, highly recommend. Yes, exactly. So I only changed one file, so it only gave me one, but if there are multiple changed files, it will give you the option to read through all of them. And it color highlights them, highly recommend, because like spending a couple minutes in code review can save you hours of fixing a problem later. Okay, and so then Sylvia or Andrew or Tiva was like, okay, cool, that looks good. Merge. Confirm. And now it is all set up. So it's just like merging a pull request between two branches. You just need to let it know that you're merging the two forks. And then, so question, is my local copy of my original code up to date with everything else?
No.
Nope. Is my live deploy on Heroku up to date with everything else?
No.
So we need to go through and update those two. And then Nick says, does it automatically show the forked repo? If not, how do we access it? It should. It should. If it doesn't, though, all you do is hit this button that says compare across forks. And then it should pop up. So it should just do it, but if it doesn't, you just hit compare across. Oh, also good note, sometimes they kind of fix this issue, but they haven't 100% fixed it. Sometimes if these two things match, it will condense down and not let you edit anything. If it does that, the best way I found is just refresh the whole page. They've kind of fixed it and it's not near as bad as it used to be. But if you're just like stuck on this page and it won't let you create a new pull request, just refresh the page and then it'll let you change things. Sometimes if they're the exact same, it throws a hissy fit. Just so you know, it is an error I've ran into many times. So my fork has been merged to our non-live repo. So I need to update my local copy and I need to update the live copy, our production copy. So we go to terminal. I'm going to go to our other repo. So this is our origin, this is our main one. This is the one that like Sylvia or one of the QAs owns, probably Sylvia. And we're going to do a git pull. Vital, 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 super important. Git pull before you begin writing code. Otherwise, you are going to have so many issues merging your code back. So all of my developers and my QA people, open your stuff, git pull immediately, like before you even start thinking about writing code. Just git pull. It will save you a lot of work. Write a post-it note, put it on your laptop, whatever it takes. Put it in part of your documentation, like you just got to do it. Okay, so now this is up to date and it's already up to date on GitHub, so we're good there. But my live version is not. So I think all I have to do is just do a git push Heroku master and that should be fine. It should be fine. Yeah, that looks fine. That looks like it's doing it. Okay, cool. So then now if I go to Chrome and then I go to Heroku, I find Heroku, I close this. We see that it built. We're on version 11 now. We open the app, and this page won't look any different, but the console should look different. I'm trying to right-click. It won't let me right-click. There we go. Inspect. I'm going to console. I guess it's just the terminal console, I guess, which I guess I could see by doing Heroku logs -- tail. Forked, it works. There it goes. So, Excellente, we can see that it works. And then we can close out of this. Cool. So how do we feel about all this piece? Any questions for me? This is your only time to ask me technical questions. All other technical questions must be directed towards your tech lead hardcore. Any questions about like what I'm expecting from y'all?
Do you need me to turn in anything, or you want like to have access to the Trello board so you can kind of see what we're doing? Or
so what I want at the end, I want like an email or a Slack message, probably an email so it doesn't get deleted, with your GitHub repo URL, the Heroku URL, and any other documentation you want me to have. So screenshots for meetings, screenshots of your Trello board, screenshots of any kind of deployment messages or anything like that. I want all of that. But the two big things that I want is just the GitHub repo, which most of your documentation should live in, and the Heroku website. What did you want for the admin HTML? All I want for the admin HTML is I want y'all to, it should just be a list of name and phone numbers. For extra bonus 10 out of 10 credit, I would like it to be sortable, but that's like extra credit. That's not part of your requirements. So you can ask me questions you would ask a non-technical client. So you can ask me things like, is this what you meant? Or is this how the phone number should look like? Do you like this design? Do you think this is a good idea? You can ask me those kind of questions. But for like, hi, I'm getting a 503 error from my Heroku deployment, that's a hardcore question. He's your tech lead. And this is to try to train you to like what kind of questions you ask what kind of people. Because like your client's not going to know. Like you talk to a normal business person, and you're like, yo, I'm getting a 503 error from my Heroku deployment. They're going to be like, do they sell creams for that? Exactly. They're going to be like, what?
I
So
didn't see class from the projects anymore. I'm sorry. I got the printout of like, week 9 and 10 of like exactly what we're doing. But you had something in there where it outlined like the actual projects. Like the dog walking app or the shopping. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about that the article? Like it wasn't something I wrote, it was something I shared with y'all?
Like I swear, and I may be tripping, but I thought you had something that was telling us like to choose like which project, right? Like I know that this outlines like what we're
I think that was just something I shared with y'all for like, you should be doing this on your own time. I think. Because this project, I don't care what you guys do. Like, you guys can pick like whatever you want. You want to do car washes, you want to do dog washes, you want to do like whatever.
Okay.
Like, so I think it was probably just a list of like, here are good projects to add to your own.
Yeah, I think that is what you were showing us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Any other questions? I'm gonna hop off on this. We got some more musical stylings from our Dear Zizi. All right. Do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. No. I'm gonna just minimize that and do this. Okay. Oops.
Yes, Haley, I think that would be yes. You can ask design questions, just not like I have this problem. How do we fix this problem? More like what do you want questions.
Exactly. Yes. Design questions are totally cool. Yep. Yes. And you can even, the thing is though, like if you're like, hey, I'm having an accessibility issue with these two contrasts, like, basically like think about like a business person that like is pretty competent but like has no idea about programming or computers or like, they can send an email and join a Google Meets, but that's about the extent of their technical prowess. Those are the kind of questions you want to ask. Okay. Yeah, and this has all the instructions on it and everything I expect from you and the roles and all that. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, but I don't feel like everything in week 9 is pretty intense. So I definitely don't think I can teach you any of the stuff from week 9 in 10 minutes. So any questions, review questions, or questions about the project or anything like that?
Thank you. You too. Okay, thank you. No, I don't think so. I'll probably have questions later, like when we start the project. But, no.
You want to show off your game? Yes, you can show off your game. Watching the video where you did the setup, yeah. And I hope I did everything pretty in a logical way. I know I kind of jump around when I do stuff, but part of it was like me going like, wait, this should be here. So I hope it wasn't too crazy. Basically, you're gonna make a repo. Yep. Google it. All of this is really documented. You're not doing anything too crazy, so it should be really easy to Google problems. All your errors should be really Googleable. All right, Zizi, show me your game.
Y'all see my
And
screen?
this is
Do you have a question about the project before Zizi gets started?
no, not the project. Just can you Slack this video tonight so I can look at it tomorrow morning when I wake up one more time? Okay, thank you.
Yep. I have a meeting, so I'll get that started. We'll get it going.
I thought Susie was showing off her game. Oh, there we go.
You see it? Oh, okay. So I got it set so you can put in your name, and if you don't put in your name, you're the mysterious one. That's your name now. And then I got music, like it's rock paper scissors thing. I got rap. I got me some country. Yep, and I got me some dubstep.
Oh,
And
that's
my
nice.
and then you just play. So yeah, that's my game.
Excellent.
Nice.
I have a meeting and I have to take care of the cat tonight, so I'm probably gonna do all your grading stuff. I don't know, very late tonight or tomorrow night, just so y'all know what's up. But I will try to keep everything up, and I'll be able to, I will upload the video while I'm doing my meeting because I can do it on the 2 separate computers. So it should be faster now that I'm on my new computer. So it should be fast and fancy. Cool. That is all that I got. Do you have any other questions or anybody else wants to show off their project?
I'm on my laptop. Can we see it from GitHub? I'm slow right now. My brain is like on
Can you see
overload.
what?
Yeah, I'm on my laptop. My desktop has like my actual files on it, but it's in my repo.
Then you can reclone the repo onto your laptop.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I may be too slow.
That's all good. And then make sure that if you're working on the 2 different computers, you start each time with git pull. Just that way you don't overwrite your own work.
Absolutely, yeah, because that's where.
Yeah, I had a problem with that this morning. It's like, oh, you have to get pulled first. I was like, what? I never used to do that.
All right. Well, I definitely am not going to be able to teach y'all something in 8 minutes. So I'm good to wrap up if you guys are good to go. Yes, go.
If I want to join the team meet today, would that be possible? And how do I get a link to do so? Because I'm not
I will
invited
flash
to.
a meet
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Thanks.
No worries.
Tomorrow morning, right? 10 a.m.
He's talking about our stuff for work, not for y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make that confusing.
Yeah, I have a Google link, a meet links in the CBC study group or group project.
Okay, I just sent you that. It also sent you a bank emoji. I don't know why.
I see that.
I don't know. I copied and pasted it, and I guess maybe there's some kind of weird thing. That was weird. Okay. Cool. All right. Everybody else, G2G.
I get cloned it in my terminal on the Mac, right? You know I'm crazy with this Mac. I'm lost.
Yeah, 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta go to bed early. I'll be going to bed at 2.
Oh, no.
Not anymore. Nah. Get it together.
I'm about to be going to bed at like 11.
Ooh, my kids go to bed at 10.
All right. Oops. That's not what I wanted to undo. This one. Okay. Groovy, 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 groovy. Okay. Yep. Poke me because I wasn't watching. Yep. All right. Other than that, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Let me know if it doesn't work. Send me a Slack message if you still can't get it to work.
Okay.